it's obviously been a tough year, certainly this second half with injury after injury, and then obviously you lose a key piece right before the game. You hang in there for 3 quarters, and then it falls apart in that last quarter. What did you see happen there? I mean, I don't think I've seen a quarter like that from the JackJumpers ever.
Well, I don't think it was the quarter necessarily. I think it was just a wear-down factor of the game. Give them credit. We're playing some young kids out there, which is exciting to see those guys play. We played probably 2.5 quarters of halfway decent basketball. But ultimately, we can't score at any kind of rate. And once you stop the scoring part of that, it's really hard to be diligent enough to do some things defensively across the board. And, we have 3 more games ahead of us that are going to be probably just like this in some fashion or form, and we'll just have to buckle down. But our margin of error is 0, and so it is what it is. But I was quite pleased with the first 2.5 quarters of staying with it, and a couple of these young kids like Nick started had a really good game, and the minutes that he got. So those are big positives for a few of those kids.
It is a positive that the kids are getting a chance because a lot of these great guys are out. What do you're on the sideline and it's piling on. What's going through your head when all this is happening, when you're calling a timeout? Like, give us an insight into your psyche.
My psyche's pretty darn simple. I'm unemotional about it because I've just been in so many different types of games and so many different atmospheres, and you're on top of the mountaintop and you're in the bottom of the mountaintop, and for me it's just going through it. And we have a few things interiorly that we're trying to do that have nothing to do about the scoreboard. I think we did tick a few of those boxes this evening. And for me, I just don't get too worked up about it one way or another. It's just another basketball game, and when you reach my age and you've been doing this for 40 years, it's just another game.
You talked about a couple of things that don't necessarily rely on the scoreboard. Can you
No, those are interior stuff that we control with the players and our values inside, and we keep those inside.
You mentioned your margin for error is pretty much 0 now.
Yep.
How do you kind of recover from a result like this?
Well, I mean, there's nothing you can do. You just go strap it back on and go play again. We have a couple days off where we group. Gigi, I was happy that he played because he was his first day back with us today. He's been sick also, so he was a questionable player coming into this game. And we'll try to get Drimmick back, and we'll just go play again. There's no magic formula here. Listen, we get smacked around, but I wouldn't trade my 4 years with any team in the NBL that I've had here.
Scott, can you talk us through what changed after that first quarter? I mean, in that first term, you guys really seemed to get the open looks you wanted, like, for example, you, Clint, and then South East really and Josh King really tightened the screws defensively on you guys in that second quarter. How did you see that from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it's just more of us getting worn down and lacking another ball handler on the floor that's confident enough. Nick's out there, but this is his first real longer swing of being on the floor, and so the wear down's real with Milt and JC trying to handle the ball all the time, then asking them to try to go score, and we're asking guys like Ruben and Fab to try to score a little bit more, and it's just not their nature. Our scorers are not playing. And everyone has to just chip in a little bit here and there and try to do the best they can. And once the game got away from us, we're not capable of reeling them back in because we can't score enough points to do that.
Can you talk us through the development of someone like Nick Stoddart? I mean, it seems like you found a really incredible player with excellent work ethic.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really good for us about the last 3 or 4 weeks for sure in practice, and he obviously had a good game about 2 weeks ago against Adelaide when he first got his start. And then he's kind of been so-so in some other shorter minutes. But he looked very comfortable out there for the most part, and I was happy for him to run around and do that. And, we really like Archie Woodhill, too, and I thought, he had some really good minutes there for his first time really getting an appearance with us.
Clint, how do you go about, as a leader and, the captain of this group, leading in these kind of situations? What are you sort of talking about and trying to keep the guys motivated throughout the game?
I mean, the guys, they're always motivated. Things get hard and you're going to fall back on your values, and Roth mentioned it, they're what we have that is sacred to us and what we fall back on, and in a game like that, that's what you look towards to get you through, whether 30-point game in the last quarter, you fall back on that, and that's going to carry us through when we're great or not so good. That's what we rely on, and it's what we have done for 4 years now.
Scott Rutarungi's been someone who's stepped up massively offensively this year compared to, last year when he was at South East. How have you viewed, his step up and I guess that next man mentality?
Yeah, I mean, he's been thrown in there and obviously had some really good moments for him, and he's a hell of a kid, and we enjoy having him on the roster. And some nights a little bit better offensively than other nights, but his competitive level is really good, and he's just a wonderful teammate.
Pikey?
Yeah, just quickly, Clint, can you, as the captain, what's the mindset like knowing that the reality is if you add those 4 guys back into this team, you're remarkably more competitive and you still fight hard, but I mean, you just battle in the odds. So how do you, I guess, ignore the scoreboard just knowing that the reality is you're just so undermanned that it's difficult to keep up what you did in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. The fact is, we don't have them, and you can't dwell on it. You move forward, you bring guys in, you plug them into your system, and you keep going. And we had a solid first half there, got away from us in the second half, but we'll go back to practice this week and hopefully gain some guys. Optimistic about that, and we got 3 games to continue what we've done over the last 4 years, and however it pans out, we'll see. But we're going to keep competing with the guys that we have available.
Scott mentioned GG as well. Can you talk about how sick he was this week and how probably someone of less character wouldn't have been able to play tonight, but he still goes out there and gives you 14 minutes and competes really hard?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think he even got a practice session in this week, and wasn't great yesterday. Flew with us yesterday, and I think he just spent the whole morning in bed. So for him to go out there and just give us an extra body right now, because right now the biggest thing is bodies for us. So credit to Gigi. He fought out there, definitely not feeling great, and hopefully he can recover quickly because we're going to need him again.
Scott, you mentioned Nick. I mean, this is going to expedite his development more than anything, just being able to play these big minutes, this big role, perhaps earlier than he's ready for, but that's how you develop quick, and that's what we saw with Sean McDonald. Do you see something pretty special in Nick moving forward?
Well, obviously we're going to have a wonderful time to evaluate him during these next 3 games because he's going to have to be out on the floor. So, and he's going to be moving out of his developmental status into having to be a roster player if he makes a team next year or ours. So we'll get a good look at him with the competition that we have coming up. And I think he's obviously feeling more comfortable, and this game should make him even more comfortable that he has capabilities out there, and we'll just see how it goes with him. But it's exciting to watch him play.
And then Archie's the other one, you touched on him, but
Yep.
a big week for him. Obviously he's impressed you a lot to earn a contract extension, and now
Yep.
he showed some really good signs out there in his minutes tonight as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's young, and he's got 2 more years with us as a developmental player, and he shows up to practice. He's got a good body, good athletic size, and he's done really well within our group with our vitamins and just his work progress. And fortunate or unfortunate, he gets to play maybe a little earlier than we anticipated playing him, but he's another guy that will get some good looks over the next 3 games, and should be fun watching him also.
And can you make sure that he keeps that haircut?
Yeah, that mullet is something else, man. It is something else.
Cool. We might call it there, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.